Is my partner cheating on me? I get this question a lot and I get it. I know that you guys want to know more about this topic so that you can really look into, do I have something to worry about here? Or is this just a story I'm making up in my head? So let's go over my 3 points on what to look for when this hunch is in there and you want to know, do I even have something to explore here? Point number 1 is to watch out for that technology. And what I mean by that is this person's cell phone, their watch, their computer, their iPad, all of these things, because of multimedia messaging, they're all synced through the iCloud. This is something that didn't happen 10 years ago, but it is absolutely number 1 reason that I see when people come to my office. If they did find their partner cheating on them, over the past couple of years has been how it has happened. They have opened the computer, not realizing that, they were on their partner's computer, and text came in real time where they're seeing that their partner's in a different place texting this person and it's coming up on their computer. So because this has been around for a while, people have become a little more savvy to this. And because of this, they're aware that it's multi-message media technology. So they're being very cautious and protective about their devices. So when they go to the bathroom at a restaurant, they take their cell phone with them. When they're on their computer, as soon as they're done with it, they close it and it's locked and you can't get back into it. People are more aware that this is a possible point to be caught. And so somebody who doesn't want to be caught is going to be very protective of this. Watch especially in the car. There are a lot of reasons to plug your phone into the car, whether it's the navigation system, your music, anything like that. People are plugging their phone into their car, but if they're worried that somebody might text them, in which case it would show up big on the screen for both people in the front seat to see, they're not going to want to plug their phone into the car. And they might ask you to do it, or they might just say, let's just listen to the radio, but it's something to be aware of. Point number 2 is quite possibly the hardest to master because it's about getting to know how somebody looks when they are uncomfortable. Now, as I said, this is something that you want to establish a baseline. So ask your cutie some random question, something about the weather, something about their job, where you can see that they are talking and this is how they are comfortable. And I say to establish a baseline because everybody is different when they get uncomfortable. So some people get really fidgety when they're uncomfortable, but other people, that's just how they speak. They're fidgety people. So the better you can establish a baseline, the more you can ascertain how somebody has left their own baseline. So then the next thing is, if there is somebody in mind that you think your person might be spending that extra time with, that if you know that person's name, you bring up that person's name. And this is the time to be very observant. And I'm sorry that this almost has you feeling like a private investigator here, but that's part of what we're doing, right? We're trying to gather some evidence that might lead to an accusatory conversation that you don't want to be having unless you have reason to be having it. So what we do here is we bring up the person's name and watch what that person does. Do they stop breathing for a minute? Do they become more fidgety or less fidgety? Can they not look at you? Do they look away? And most importantly, do they change the topic? People don't like to talk about things that make them uncomfortable. They're going to give you probably a quick one-word answer if they don't want to be talking about this topic. So this is difficult. Again, you don't necessarily want this information, but it is a way of gathering, does this person's name make my person feel uncomfortable? And the third thing, most important thing to look for is, has your person changed their appearance in some way? Did they start going to the gym? Did they up their workouts at the gym in some way? Are they dressing differently? Did they go buy new clothes? Did they change their hair? Did they change their makeup? Are they just putting more time into all of these things that they already have and they already established? Maybe they used to spend 7 minutes on their makeup in the morning and now they're really putting time into it. So these shifts are what you look out for when you want to know, is there something new in this person's life? And is it just the natural cadence where, it's a new year or, it's January, so this person is putting more time into these certain things? Or have I gathered enough evidence to suspect that this isn't because of a New Year's resolution? This isn't because the natural cadence of, as we go through life, there are certain changes that are going to happen. When you start to put all three of these together, you can ascertain that there might be something more going on. It's also important to remember that these three things are not an exact science. The presence of these three things does not necessarily indicate that a person is definitely cheating, and the absence of these three things does not necessarily indicate innocence. So as you're going through these things, it's important to know that this is really just leading up to a conversation. This is just the information gathering stage. What to do with this information once you have it is for a whole nother post. Stay tuned for more.